You know, I've worked for other companies and other banks, and it was just where you go to work, you do your job, you go home. Happy State Bank, you don't. I mean, it's still work, but you feel comfortable at work. You're happy. You spend a lot of time at work, and when you enjoy your coworkers and do enjoy what you're doing, then it's great. And Happy State Bank's a great bank. You know, when you're enjoying your job and you're enjoying your atmosphere, your coworkers, then it does rub off. Your customers see that.
For being here today, our mayor is out of the country still. I'm Commissioner Eads, and I'm filling in today as Mayor Pro Tem. So I would ask Minister Greg Dale from the exciting Central Church of Christ if he would lead us in prayer.
Okay. I'd like to offer the prayer of St. Francis this afternoon, if you would bow with me, please. Lord, make us an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that we may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Thanks. Would you join me in the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. We're all having to adjust our seats for just a minute. Excuse me.
Did you hold up Commissioner SK to seat?
I did not.
I'm sorry.
That's all right,
Commissioner.
Okay, we have a little on. It is June the 12th, 3 p.m. It's time for us to meet Amarillo City Commission. And we will begin by looking over our agenda. There are copies over by the door. And I think we'd like to start with item number 1, which is approval of the minutes. It's attached. And your floor is open from the commissioners to make any additions, deletions, insertions.
Mayor, I would move for approval of the minutes as presented.
I second that motion.
The minutes have been forwarded for approval. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes with a 3-0 vote. Agenda item number 2 is ordinance number 7335. This is the first and final reading of an ordinance for the Public Services, Inc. project, approving the refunding of the Mission Economic Development Corporation Solid Waste Disposal Revenue Bond, Allied Waste North America, Inc. project, Series 2007A bonds, and authorizing the mayor to execute appropriate necessary documents. This refunding in no way imposes any payment or other obligation upon the city of Amarillo. And we have Mr. Dean Frigo and a guest.
Yes, Mayor, we have Lee McCormick here and Ray Allen. Ray's with the local company. And as you stated, we double-checked with our bond counsel. The city of Amarillo is in no way obligated. We held a public hearing yesterday at 1:30. No one spoke. No one attended the public hearing, so there wasn't any opposition. We have checked out Republic Company. They are a listed company. They're rated BBB by Moody's. Moody's notes they have a strong balance sheet, good liquidity, and a good solid waste collection disposal operation. So we would recommend you approve the refinancing. Lee, you want to add anything?
No, just Lee McCormick with Community Development Associates. I'm the financial advisor working with Republic Services on this bond financing. I think the overview explained it very well. In short, Republic is looking to take advantage of the current interest rate environment and refund these bonds, extend the maturity at a lower interest rate. And other than that, there is no risk, no liability to the city with regards to approval of this order or the certificates.
Thank you very much.
We understand, we do that ourselves.
Exactly.
Very good. Any other questions from any folks on the commission? Any questions from any folks in the audience regarding this ordinance? With none, I would request a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of ordinance number 7335.
Second?
Ordinance has been moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No. Seeing none, that would be an approval with a 3-0 vote. Item number 3 on the agenda is a resolution authorization of Federal Transit Administration Transportation Electronic Award and Management. This resolution authorizes the execution and delegates the submission of applications and related reports to the Federal Transit Administration for Amarillo City Transit operational and capital activities. The authorization provides access to the Transportation Electronic Award and Management team system by the Transit Department's Transportation Plan. Okay, it's a resolution for the authorization of Federal Transit Administration. Are there any comments, questions from the Commission on this particular issue? From the public? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Mayor, I would move for approval of this resolution of this authorization.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor of this particular resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, that would be an approval with a 3-0 vote. Item number 4, resolution, public hearing, Public Housing Agency Annual Plan. This resolution conducts a public hearing for review, comment, and adoption of the 2012-13 Public Housing Agency Annual Plan as required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The annual plan has been reviewed and approved by the PHA Tenant Advisory Committee and the Community Development Advisory Committee. The PHA annual plan has been available for public comment for 45 days, and no comments have been received. And I would ask Ms. Covey, perhaps, or Mr. Friedel, if they want to make a comment with regard, and additional witnesses they want to call.
We have James Allen in the audience if anyone has questions about our community development department and our Section 8 housing program. This is a plan that we submit every year that governs how we use our Section 8 housing assistance program. So we're welcome. If there are any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Any comments from the audience, from the people of Amarillo regarding this plan? Seeing none. Any from the commission? Then I would welcome the resolution or motion.
Mayor, I move resolution public hearing Public Housing Agency Annual Plan to approve the PHA plan as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those on the commission in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No. Seeing none, that passes with a 3-0 vote. We're now at the consent agenda. There are 2 items. First item is the purchase of ballistic vests for police department. And item B is approval, repair of damaged vehicle. There are descriptions on your agenda if you'd like to look over those momentarily. Is there anybody who would like to extract one of the issues for separate consideration? Seeing none, we'll take them as a whole, and I'd welcome a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval of the consent agenda as presented.
I second that motion.
Consent agenda has been moved and seconded. All those agreeing indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The consent agenda is approved with a 3-0 vote. Thank you. Okay. That really is the end of our regularly scheduled agenda-related business, but as always in the city of Amarillo, we welcome the public to come forward and discuss any issues of special concern that were not particularly in agenda items today. So the floor now stands open for those kind of discussions, and we'd like to limit those to 3 minutes if possible. Yes, ma'am, come on. And if you would be so kind as to give us your name and address.
Okay, my name is Sarah Fansler, and I live at 201 South Tennessee in the San Jacinto area.
And I would like to commend our mayor, Paul Harpo, for instigating cleaning up the graffiti. And I did have my garage lady to come out and paint it. I've painted it myself about 3 times too. But I think this is a good project. And I also commend the Amarillo Police Station and the Potter County Sheriff's Office, because they're working real hard to, you know, cut down some of this crime going on, and they have a big job, but they do a good job. And my purpose today is I have a complaint about so many of the houses in San Jacinto area. They are boarded up. My solution would be either fix them up or tear them down. And the house next door to me, 203 South Tennessee, which is south of me, it's been vacant for probably at least 5 years or better. And I know the owner. I used to work at Pentex 25.5 years, and his name's Ken Neely, and he worked there also in the finance department. So I understand he lives in a great big expensive house, western, like the Tascosa Country Club area. I've been told his house is $1 million home. He also owns moved in another house maybe a year or so ago. The address is 85 North Maryland. And it's just sitting on cinder blocks. It never was rented, never fixed up, never had a for rent sign. I guess his purpose is maybe he gets a write-off or something, break on his taxes. So I think that, you know, I think Amarillo needs to start cleaning up some of these bad places. That'll help get rid of some crime too, maybe. And it'll make us, homeowners that try to keep our property up, it'll make us happy. So thank you very much.
Ms. Vance, I'm authorized to be able to discuss things with you that are current city policy. We have recently implemented a new strategy for clearing dangerous and dilapidated properties in an expedited manner.
Good.
We have, and it's really efficient and
Good.
much more effective than previously. We have Mr. Kelly Shaw here who knows something about that, and we have Scott McDonald who also is an expert on that, and they would be more than happy to visit with you after this meeting
That would be great.
to determine the appropriateness of those properties and whether maybe something else needs to be done.
Yes, I had my neighbor with me, Ludy Stone, and she lives across the street, and we've been friends for a long time. And she keeps her house, she's 91 years old, and she keeps her house up, you know. She bought the lot south of her and had that fenced in. She planted a garden, you know, so there's a lot of nice homes out there and a lot of bad. But I appreciate y'all.
Sure. And we'll be happy if you too, and
Okay.
if you'd like to come up afterwards, they'd be happy to visit with you.
Okay, Kelly Shaw. Okay.
That one was far right in.
This nice looking young man down here again. Very good.
What?
Any other comments from anybody else? We'd love to hear from the people of Amarillo. Do we have some students here today? Good. Would you like to speak as well?
Yes, but are you speaking to him first?
Whoever wants to come up. If we have any students here today, Commissioner Sims really appreciates the opportunity to be able to sign off any documentation or provide any interviews that you may have. And so he will be waiting around afterwards in order.
Anything to accommodate.
Carolyn Thornton, 1947 South Mars. There was something that was brought up a little while back, which is I know that people who have the tents, I know that, and I'm not even talking about the bridge, it has nothing to do with it, that pitch tents in Amarillo. I know that they can't pitch it on private property, but some subjects have been brought up to my attention, and it's peoples that are asking for to be able to use their properties to allow people to pitch tents on their properties. So I'm here for just clarification on that. Are people that own tents able to go on private property by the city? And if so, I'm not saying yay or nay, I'm just doing this with facts and clarification. And if so, are there regulations for it?
Only with the owner's permission.
Yes, okay. And he doesn't have any, like, he has to have porta potties and all this, which would be a great idea, by the way, but, okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you very, very much.
Any other comments on that? That's good. No, I think that's good.
And I see that there's two types of people, and then one is that wants to help the homeless, and the other ones want them to get out of Dodge. But the bottom line is, and I saw a quote that I want to quote, and it says, "The challenge now is to practice politics as the art of making what happens to be impossible possible." I know there's a solution, Laura. We can all make it work. I know it. Thank you.
Any other comments from members of the public? Seeing none, that will conclude our meeting today, and we'll plan on being here next week. Thank you.